So right now, sealed product is a little bit tricky. You know, some things are slightly overpriced or pretty much overpriced in the form of Destined Rivals. So I'm looking at single cards, right? Recently, I went to the London Card Show and I did some vending for the first time. And it was kind of insightful seeing what people are picking up, what trends are happening. On the ground, things are very, very different than they are online, 100%. There are things that people are looking for, asking for, or hunting for, which are very, very different to what you may be seeing on eBay, what you may be seeing on TCG Player, and so on and so forth. So today I'm going to be going through 7 great cards to pick up, which should be on people's, radar, right? That's what we're looking for. These cards could be very good in the long term. These cards could be very good graded, and so on and so forth. We'll be looking at the Skull and Violet era today. So let's jump into it. Okay, we're on PokeJace.io. The first card we have today is the Cleffa from Obsidian Flames. I actually had quite a few people come up to me that day and basically was like, look, you're the Cleffa. And I'm like, Cleffa? And they're like, yeah, the one from Obsidian Flames. And that must have been asked by quite a few people all on the same day looking for this card. Now, the thing is, this has always been an amazing art rare. Always has been, like illustration rare, right? We're looking at $15 raw. Look at the PSA 10 price, $160. Yes, it has fallen over the past 6 months, which means it's primed. Obsidian Flames getting more and more expensive. Booster boxes getting harder to get hold of. It's an older set now. Prices are starting to trickle upwards. And to be honest, this was a pretty big card right in the PSA 10. We had this like illustration rare boom in the beginning of the year. And it did go to around about 145 and it's starting to trickle up ever since. Now we look at the raw price of this card. We can see it's kind of leveled out quite nicely, which means it's a really good time to pick up. Around $15 is pretty good. Now, Obsidian Flames does have good pull rates. Again, this is a little bit easy, but it's getting more and more expensive if you don't already have it, and obviously to crack open the set as well. So over in the UK, recently sold for Cleffa, we're looking around £16 there, £18.55, £16. So you're looking at, $20 or so dollars, which is basically what it would be in pounds as well. £18 is pretty decent. We're looking at the PSA 10 price of this. You're looking around 167 recently sold. That's pretty good. We got 113 there. Big price difference. 138, 117. That's got best offer accepted. 136, 150. So pretty good, right? It's actually a pretty good price point. And like when you look at PSA cards, we look at graded cards, we're looking at a good like transfer, right? You're looking around 15 to 18 pounds raw to 150 and 140, 170 there. So overall pretty good. So I would say you have a really good return if this does get a 10. Next up, we got the Altaria EX. This is the SIR from Paradox Rift. This one has been a very, very good one as well. It's been creeping up. It's now the second most expensive card in the set, overtaking the Roaring Moon. Now this one's coming in at $41 raw, 37 on TCG Player. And not only that, I mean, look at the graded price, nearly $200 in a PSA 10. And it's done pretty well, right? You look at the PSA price, was in the boom right there, about $250 with his all-time high. Then it dropped as low as $150, so it dropped $100 in value in a PSA 10, but it's now starting to creep back up towards that $200 range. But also the raw price is a pretty good time to pick it up, right? You're looking at $60 back there, and we're looking at nearly 50% drop over the past 6 months, so it's quite appealing, especially for that good return in a PSA 10. So looking over here, PSA 10 for an Altaria, you're looking at £210 there. Big difference, right? These two were sold literally a day apart from each other, and you're looking at over £50 difference, 150 there as well, 156. So I would say you're looking for anywhere between 150 and £200, which is a huge, huge difference, but pretty big card, right? And again, we're looking at a pretty good raw price, so this one's quite appealing. It is going up, so keep an eye on the Altaria. Skull and Violet base now. We're going to Ralts. This is now the second most expensive card in the set behind the Guard of War. I mean, it's always going to be a really top good one in my opinion. I still think it's better than the Drowsy, for example. Looking at this, $25 raw, TCG Player 29. Look at that PSA 10 price though, $300. Even during like the illustration red boom earlier on this year, reached high as like $370. Dipped about $100 and has pretty much kept its cool ever since. And we look at the raw price, and the raw price has been dropped a little bit, right? It's dropped to like 10, maybe 20%, which is actually a pretty good price point to pick this up for around $25, $28. Especially that PSA 10 is 10 times. I mean, it's going to be difficult to get a 10, but still 10 times that value. Huge. So over here in the UK, let's have a look. We've got a PSA 10 Kalia. So that's pretty good for the Kalia. They go 175. That one's Japanese. English 225 in the PSA 10. That is huge. I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, look, the Japanese one's only £30 in a PSA 10 compared to that English at 225, which is a very, very good one to see. Lots of Japanese ones there. English 250. So yeah, you look around £250 for this, which is absolutely massive. So yeah, another huge card from SV Base. Worth picking up. Tough to grade though. Next up, we got the Mew Full Art Shiny, not the Bubble Mew, but the Full Art Shiny from Paldean Fates. This one's been creeping up. I didn't notice what was going on with this one. Obviously, all eyes on the Bubble Mew. But this one here, we're looking around about $20 raw, but look at that, $127, nearly $130 in a PSA 10. Very, very good. If we look at the raw price of this here, we can see that you're looking at around $100 or so there. Sorry, the PSA 10 price on the raw price, $100 there, and it's been creeping up ever since. So this one's been doing pretty well on a PSA 10. And even the raw price, well, on TCG Play has been creeping up since, but pretty much level. But this one is the 10 that appeals to me right here, especially for a Full Art Shiny. So let's take a look at the PSA 10 version. Paldean Fates, Full Art Shiny, £100 there, £105. You're looking at 90, nearly 100 for that one. So you're looking around about £100 in a PSA 10, which is pretty good. I think that's a pretty nice one to see. Especially raw, this one's fetching, we got £15 there, nearly £20 there. That one's like insanely expensive. I don't know what happened to that one. You look about £12 there, 15. So you look about £15 card on average, going all the way up to £100 in a PSA 10, which is very, very good. That's a very, very good, nice return there. So again, this one's to look out for. If you don't want to get the Bubble Mew, this is another Mew that's doing really well. Going on to 151, we got my favorite card from the set, Zapdos. I didn't realize how well this was doing. Obviously, all eyes are on like the original 3, the stars, of course. Zapdos has been doing a nice big bounce back. So raw was looking around about $55, right? $55. And then the PSA 10 price was around $280. It did dip all the way to $200, so it dropped $80 in value during the summer of this year. And then boom, it's gone up from $200 to $300 in a 10, which is incredibly impressive. And you look at the raw price, right? The raw price bounced back a little bit, but it's still lower than it was 6 months ago. But that PSA 10 return is absolutely huge. And this was a card which was on my radar when I was going around the card show. And a lot of people did have this in their, in their displays and things like that. But I didn't see any in 10s, not even ace 10s. That was very, very interesting there. So we look at the Zapdos. We've got a Japanese one there for $115. Another Japanese one for $110. See, a lot of Japanese, barely any English. So like I said, I rarely ever saw English. So all Japanese. There's finally an English one. $286 or $290 with postage. See, not many, a lot of Japanese, and they're not too bad in a 10. If you want to get the artwork and you're not too fussed about the language, then that is a very good price point to get for just under £100 basically. But yeah, 300, triple the price if you want it in English. Absolutely huge. And it's a big card, right? And it's been doing really well. Look at that big jump, right? 224 on the 6th of August. And look at that, literally 3 days later, 286. Big jump. There's some crazy stuff going on with PSA prices right now. And yeah, the market's going mad. Next up, we've got the Chansey from Twilight Masquerade, the illustration rare. This one, I think, is going to be another good one to look out for as well. Huge OG fan favorite. You're looking at about $20 raw, but again, pretty good PSA 10 price, $111. And it's trickling back up. It was $180 earlier on this year, and it did dip below 90. 85 was pretty much the lowest, and now it's trickling back up. It's gaining a good amount of value. And again, it's a pretty good price point. It's still cheaper than it was 6 months ago. All right, it wasn't the cheapest price point, but still very, very good. So this one could look out for. Twilight Masquerade getting more expensive. Yeah, booster boxes getting super pricey. This one could be a good one to look out for. So looking at the Chansey illustration rare, PSA 10, Twilight Masquerade, you're looking around about 80-ish pounds, 95 there, 92, 90. So about £90 is roughly the average for this Chansey as well. Again, pretty good. We saw about $110 in a PSA 10. So this is pretty much spot on, which is always good to see. This one raw, you're looking around about £20 raw, which actually isn't too bad. So you're looking at a £20 raw card, transferring over to around about £90 PSA 10 is pretty good. And I think this is going to be a good one to look forward to in the future. Okay, and then final card we can look at today is the Ghastly illustration rare from Temporal Forces. This one is being an absolute boss, and it's making an absolute tear. This one's about $40 raw, $315 in a 10. Earlier on this year during the boom, we saw $360. It dipped to its lowest point, dropped by $150 pretty much in value, and is now bounced up by like $100 in value, which is incredible. Raw price lower than it was 6 months ago. This is a great pickup right now. Big fan favorite, of course, got the Gengar, the Haunter, and of course you got the Meowth just chilling. It looks like an amazing artwork, right? And it's been creeping up. It's like third or maybe fourth most expensive card in the set now, maybe even third, I think. So yeah, it's definitely doing very well, especially in that PSA 10 price. absolutely huge. So that Ghastly in a PSA 10, £200, best offer accepted. You got the Japanese one there for 50, Japanese 150, 200 in a PSA 10. Absolutely huge for an illustration rare, £200. That's a big, big ticket item. That is very, very good. We'll look at this raw, right? You look, well, Ace 10, you're 105. To put things in perspective, it's double the value in a PSA 10. But look at this, like, 36 raw, 31, 42, 32, 40. That really surprised me. Half the value of a PSA 10. Holy smokes. And especially that's tough to get in a PSA 10. So, yeah, I think this is a very good pickup. Definitely, definitely great at PSA because that is absolutely brutal. Ooh, that's not great at all. So there you have it, guys. Those are some great pickups to grab right now whilst the raw price is cheap. And if you're looking at grading them, they can get an insane return. I've got a few videos coming up soon where I'll be talking through my experiences vending at the biggest card show here in the UK. Very, very interesting, very insightful seeing what people are picking up. And I'm going to be going through more detail in some upcoming videos of my experiences and specifically what people are looking for. But illustration rares, a lot of people are looking for them. They're a hot ticket item. Barely any I've seen graded, right? I'm looking around the stalls. Barely any I've seen, even in Ace 10s, let alone PSA 10s. And the ones I did see, I saw some of the prices and I'm like, holy smokes, that's an insane return. So, and I'm trying to get a binder of every single illustration rare in the Scarlet and Violet era. It's going to be very, very difficult. It's going to be a very, very long process, but that's my goal by the end of this year. Hopefully we'll get there. But if you want more Pokemon content, make sure to click the video on the screen and of course, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You guys are legends and I'll see you in the next one.